We have Miss Silvia Tallon, a Senior Marketing Director, India Reebok, to address the gathering on the secret of generating passion in your customers. Ms. Tallon has developed a fascinating international career in fashion and sports in the fields of marketing, brand, products, sourcing, purchases and design. Her main domains have always been related to apparel, footwear and accessories. She has worked with big brands such as Levi, Intersport, Adidas, Vanity Fair and now Reebok. Ladies and gentlemen, I request Ms. Tallon to please come and join me on stage. Please welcome her with a very big round of applause. A very warm welcome to you.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me well? Yes? So I'm very glad to be here. For the ones who don't know me, I'm Spanish and from Barcelona. But it's been already 2 years and a half. I'm living in India, heading up Reebok brand. And you know, I would like, before in the panel, everyone was talking, there were some common elements in the discussion that we were all talking about emotions. That was something really very clear. How to drive passion. One of the most relevant elements is emotions. And let me share with you, when I first joined India for the first time in my life, it was in year 92. There was those very famous, you know very well, the ambassador cars. And it was the car that I used to travel when I was in India. And after year 92, I used to have a lot of very frequent travels as well in India. And even now that I have a Toyota Fortuner, now every time I see passing by an ambassador, it opens a big smile in my face, because it brings back memories, good memories on the past, on the 90s, and it brings back of good moments. And that's what's everything about. And now, despite ambassador doesn't have AC, and some of them haven't attached a nice fan on the desk, still, I would be able to buy it. And that's the most important, because there is an emotional component that links me as a Spanish to that brand. But here we are talking about Reebok India. And I would like to share our experience, which is, can I see it on the screen, please? Can I see it on the screen, please? Can you see it only on the sides? Can I see it in the big screen, please? Hello? Okay, yeah, I see it here. All right, I would like to share with all of you what happens if you lose that emotional connection, if you lose that purpose. When you lose everything, what do you do? Have you ever been in that situation? Because it's nice when you have the brand love. And we had the brand love. But some of you may know about the past of Reebok in India. And we lost that love. And if you lose that love, you don't have passion for the brand. And so you don't have anybody buying into the brand. So let me, for the ones who are not familiar with the background of Reebok in India, especially, because there was a global brand, but also specifically for India, there was something really very specific. That was in the 80s and the 90s. That was Reebok. A lot of emotional connects. The first brand that was supporting women in the sports fitness. It was creating products with purpose. Really, if you remember this high boot shoe that was wrapping your ankle for the practice of aerobic, that was Reebok, the #1. Venus Williams was endorsed by Reebok at that time. So at the same time, we were supporting some of the US, North American basketball teams from the NBA as well. So, but as you know how business are, and then once you have already an established area of your business, you want more. This was in the 80s and the 90s. So we move on, and then we were looking for new business opportunities. So we were greedy. We wanted also the male audience as well to join our brand. So football, we were sponsoring in India some of the teams. We sponsored the national cricket team as well. That drove a lot of passion, and a lot of consumers and a lot of audience showed their love for the brand. Also motorsports, did you know that also Reebok was into motorsports? Yes, we were as well. So that was about expanding the business, which is a logical step in all the companies. Once you reach a certain level of turnover, you want more, and you want to increase your business share as well. And then 2012, the brand collapsed in India completely. And that was a huge shock. The brand was positioned it was the leading sports brand in India, but it collapsed. There was a fraud, there was a scam, management was involved. Then we saw the brand really being sent completely, vanishing from everywhere, being a discount brand. From where we were earlier, we were nothing. We almost vanished from the market. We were only at discount level, and that was what was going. So all the passion that we were talking, all the love that we were having or receiving from our audience was gone. There was hate in this situation. There was a lot of rage and anger against the brand. And how do we do it? How do we do it to change this? And we are talking quite recently, this was quite recent, 2012. In 2013, the brand at global level decided to position as not as a sports brand, but as a fitness brand. Then we are not talking about sports, we are not talking about Formula One, we are not talking about football, cricket, and then you saw that Reebok stopped endorsing the national cricket team, MS Dhoni as well, that was part of our brand ambassadors as well, disappeared, we stopped working, and we focused onto the fitness area. How do we do this? How do we win the consumers' love back again? After they were hating, they were angry with us. And we were earlier positioned in a complete different area. So there was this message, live with fire. The message per se sounds like very good. It shows like it's talking about how living an active life can inspire people to live their lives with passion, what we are talking today. Intent and purpose. We have heard earlier in the panel as well about purpose. Nice? Very nice. Do you see passion here in this image? You see only live with fire. A nice, important word, but nothing really inspirational. So this was a bluff. It was a disaster. It didn't work. It didn't work. So still the brand lost the direction, and we didn't know how to bring that audience back onto us, how to bring that passion that converts those consumers into us. So this was a wrong choice at that moment, and it didn't work. And you have to, sometimes you have to be honest with yourself and accept it didn't work. It simply didn't work. 2015, be more human. Super powerful message. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. But if you pay attention, and you can see it better in the bigger screen, in the back side in the background, you see three different elements. It's the logo that we have now, which is a Delta logo. Each of them represents different elements that the brand stands for: physical, mental, and social. With a very simple message: be more human. This message started changing everything, because this message started rooting with the consumer. It meant something. When I joined the company 2.5 years ago in India, I was told by somebody that when this message was presented from global to the Indian representatives, somebody said, this message will not work in India. Will not work because, you know, we have different religions and we have these conflicts as well, internal conflicts, and this be more human might be really, but it's not so philosophical. It's a very simple message. It's be more human. And this can derive in many different forms, in many different ways, and it can be really brought down as nice and as beautiful as you want. So this gave us already a very nice and extraordinary base to start building up the brand from here. From this until now is the starting of what we see now. In the last 3 years, there's been a completely revamp of the brand, starting from this message. Earlier, we didn't crack it. We didn't manage to crack it with the consumer. Starting from be more human, the good story, the nice story about Reebok coming back starts here. Be more human, it's really very simple. It refers to cry to the consumers. It brings emotions. What we are hearing from everyone, it's very simple. It's only about bringing emotions. If there is no emotional connect, and I'm lucky enough to work for a consumer good company, that it's tangible, that it's visible, and there is a very clear consumer. For industrial world, I think sometimes to find this passion and that connection, it can be really difficult. But I've been in other sessions from Exchange for Media that some of colleagues from the industrial world really have very creative ways to find that connection. In our way, it's much easier with a consumer good, with a nice product, with a good position and a good branding. We get to do it. But this was the ultimate message that makes us really to connect with the consumers. And this is the message that is given us to the success that we are experiencing now. Because we are fully obsessed in driving people to become the best version of themselves. And this is true. If a brand doesn't give you that element, doesn't connect with that consumer. And that's really very important. We want them to be the best physically, mentally, and socially in order to be more human. Everything simple, basic, really but beautiful at the same time. And with a huge connection with the Indian consumer. Something that someone said that it was not going to connect with the Indian consumer. Completely wrong, again. It beautifully connects with the Indian consumer. But I will show you how we also made it to connect with the Indian consumer. There were some different executions, beautiful executions as well about the human score. This is a very nice way that it's including different elements, which is not talking only about, and you can find it as well in the internet. It's not only talking about fitness. It was much wider, and it was linking to other areas like intellectual curiosity, sociability, as well, morality, inspiration. So this is something interesting that was brought around the Be More Human as well. But we really believe that we are, as a brand, we needed, if we wanted to stand out, we needed to be the game changers. And to be the game changers, you needed somebody on board as well who supported the main message, because we are a women's first brand. And for that, and to obtain that kind of connect with the consumer, we chose the best ambassador to relaunch the brand at that moment. That was Kangana Rano. You know her very well, most of you, I guess. A very disruptive person. I had the pleasure to meet her, but very controversial. You never know how she can react at any moment. But she really helped us to connect you have in the left side the global message that was beautifully brought into Be More Human, but translated what it means for us in India. And she has been the perfect ambassador for us, really to show how a person can be more human, but we translated with a different message to connect with the audience, fit to fight. And fit to fight was just the slight Indian adaptation of the Be More Human, a sub-message derived from the Be More Human at global level. And this is what it means being a global-local strategy. When you have a global strategy and you adapt it as well with the local that we've seen as well earlier with Nescafe as well. But we have other, at global level, some other brand ambassadors that as well that may or may not connect with the Indian audience, but we already had Kangana Rano that was helping us to connect with that consumer. We have some other brand ambassadors that help us to reach that consumer and make that connect with the consumer. We have Cardi B for the youngsters, very young American rapper as well. Ariana Grande as well for the youngsters, may know her as well. Gigi Hadid, very well known, part of our ambassadors. All these brand ambassadors help us to connect and give that emotion to the message that we are bringing to the market. Quite recently, Victoria Beckham as well is one of our brand ambassadors, and doesn't move. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, also part of it. But important is as well the new on boards, Shahid Kapoor and Malaika Arora. Why? Because we are talking about a global strategy. You may not know some of the brand ambassadors that I was showing to you, but you know Shahid Kapoor, you know Malaika Arora, you know as well Kangana Ranaut. So it's important really to have that cultural component that drives that emotion. Based on this work that has been done, let me share with you where we are in terms of brand health. This is the NPS, the latest NPS from 2016 to 2018. And you can see how all the sports brands are the position in the ranking. And you see that after Nike, Reebok is number 3. But we have come from a long journey that we were earlier in a very low position, and we had to conquer that part. So this is part of the strategies that we have been adapting to the Indian market in order to succeed. What did we do to succeed? We repositioned the brand. With patience and honesty. It's been 3 years of hard work really trying to gather those results. It was not for free that we got it. It was hard work because people need to create that one-on-one relationship with the brand. If you have a faucet if you have a simple faucet, how do you do to create emotion with a sexy product like a faucet? It's just a faucet and it gives water. So how do you connect with them? Perhaps just use some designers that create that faucet, and will create that emotional connect with that faucet that will make my choice much easier to choose with this faucet and this faucet. Not only because it's beautiful, also because there is a connection with that designer. So that emotional connect needs to exist. What we did as well, we didn't force the feelings. For 3 years, we have been really expecting results. You can't fake those feelings. You can't force them. I've seen that after Reebok started this Fit to Fight campaign, some others follow and copy exactly the same strategy as we did. And if somebody is thinking about copying the same strategy, sorry to say, don't do it, because maybe it doesn't work. And I've seen really people not succeed in applying exactly the same strategy as we have done, because you can't fake feelings. It's important really that those feelings come in an organic way. We invited in this Fit to Fight campaign, and There Be More Human, we invited consumers to be part of our story. So those came in a very organic way. What we did as well, we connected a global message with the Indian culture and beliefs. And this is really very important, because some of the names, brand names that you have seen earlier, some of the brand ambassadors, you may not know them, so they are not relevant for you. Relevant for you are Shahid Kapoor, Kangana Ranaut, and all these celebrities. And for you, as a good example of the latest cultural adaptation that we had in the Indian market, I would like to share with you a video. A video that was very controversial, and that gave us, through that cultural connect that I'm talking about and that emotional component, close to 30 million views in 3 weeks, which was a clear success, and a huge conversion at the store level. So the main message is, and it was, if you know, it's a classical stereotype in India: girls don't fight. Girls don't fight. If a girl wants to say something wrong, don't do it. Don't fight. Accept it as it is. In that message, we said, girls do, well, sorry for the graphism, it should be slash in the girls don't fight. Yes, girls fight. That's what we were stating with our message. And let me share with you the video, if it works. Can you play the video, please?
You may not have done this before, so make it a reason to do it all the more. Don't just frown. Step up and see the challenges back on. Girls, fight. Fight more, be more human.
So that was, I guess most of you have seen it already. It was released by end of the year. I have now to speed up. I'm short of time. My time is over. So I will try to skip. I was going to talk about advocacy, but I guess that we've heard already enough in the panel about advocacy. So let me skip that part of the advocacy that I'm sure that all of us know very well. And the last thing, just trying to wrap up, just my last message, because I'm run out of time. Just what we did was, we were patient, and this is really very important. We were repositioning a brand coming from scratch that was completely destroyed and had no emotional connect. We listened to our consumers. We challenged society stereotypes, and this is really very important. We gave voice to unsung heroes, and we connected and generated passion among our Reebok fans. And because of that, we became addicted to come to these award ceremonies to gather some awards. And this is a good recognition, and tonight we are going to get one award for gender equality. So thank you very much, and I'll leave you with a message, be more human.